Hi, in this one we're going to be talking about string slicing. Now, let's just imagine that your string is a pie of pizza. And what you do with a pie of pizza is you always take a slice out and you eat it. You never really eat one whole pie of pizza at once, right? So let's just say you've got a string and you want to use a small part of that string in your program. So how would you actually do that? So just like you'd approach that problem with a pie of pizza, you'd cut a slice and take it out and then eat it. You do the same with a string. Let's take a look at how to do that. Now, for this example, we'll be taking a variable called name and we'll store a string which has the full name of a person, that is John Doe, just like you see on your screen. Now, what we want to do here is we want to slice out the word John out of this single string and store that as a new string in the variable first name. So to do that, what we're going to be doing is first we'll take a look at or we'll observe all the indices of each and every character in the string. In this case, we can see that the string that we really want or are interested in, that is JOHN, that's 4 characters, goes from 0 through 3. Those are the indices that we're actually interested in. So logically, what you would say is you'd want to slice this string that is stored in the variable name from position 0 to position 3. But that's not exactly what happens in Python. What you want to do is you want to slice from position 0 through position 4 so that you finally get the slice from position 0 through position 3. And the way you'd type that out or code that out is you'd create the variable name that's first name and make that equal to name from 0 to 4. And to really signify or type out the 0 to 4, you use a colon. So just as you see on your screen, that's first name equals name, which is the variable in which we have our original string John Doe. And then you slice it from position 0 to position 4. And finally, you get the string John saved inside the first name string. Now there's another situation in which you'd want to slice from the other end of the string, that is from the E, that's the last character in the string. In this case, what you need to know is that we can also index the string in a reverse order where the last character of the string is at the index -1 and every other character to the left side of that string goes from -1 to -2 to -3 all the way through -7, or depends upon the number of characters that your string has. It could also be -100 if your string has like 100 characters. So in this case, we've got about 8 characters in our string, sorry, 7 characters in our string. And if we index it from the farther end of the string, that is from the E, we have E at -1, O at -2, N at D at -3, N at -4, H at -5, O at -6, and J at -7. So in this case, you would want to slice from position -7 to position -3 to get your string that is JOHN, which is from -7 to -4. And the way you'd write it is simple. It's just first name equals name from position -7 to position -3. So enough of the theoretical knowledge. Let's just put our theory into practice and move on to PyCharm. All right. So now that you've opened up PyCharm, let's just go ahead and create a new project for this exercise. To do that, we'll just click on Create New Project on PyCharm, go to our project folder, which for me is on my desktop inside Python course, and I click on Open. And as always, in the project path, I'll just put a / and give my project a name. So in this case, I'll just call it string slicing and click on Create. And I'll create that in a new window. Now once that's done, let's just remove this breakpoint by clicking on it and erase all the default code that's given by PyCharm. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be doing about 4 tasks for this exercise. Now, task 1 here is to slice John from John Doe and store it in a variable called first name. So this is just like we saw in the slides earlier. Let's create a new variable called name and store JOHNDOE just like that in name. Now what we want to do is create a new variable first name and then slice out John from the string John Doe and store it inside first name. So with our newly acquired knowledge, let's do that. So in this case, what we want to do is we want to slice character at position 0, 1, 2, and 3. But just as we learned, we also want to consider index 4 so that we can slice out the first 4 characters right here. So what we do is we write name, which is the name of our variable, put our square brackets, and then here we go from position 0 to position 4, and then simply print out first name to check if we were successfully able to complete the task. And yes, that's what happened. But let's just check what happens if we go from character 0 to character 3, which is n, and let's see what that actually gives us as an output. So I'm just going to change the 4 to 3. So we slice from name at position 0 to name at position 3, and then we run the code, and that just gives us J, O, and H. So if we want J, O, H, and N, we should go from 0 through 4, which is one character higher than that of N, or one position higher than that of N, and that gives us John. Now, the next task here that we want to do is to create a variable called password and store this password, that's I love Python 123, and slice just the Python 123 and well, print it. So let's just create a variable password. So password equals, and I'm simply going to copy this and paste this right here. Now, what we want to do is we need to know the index of this P. Where does it start? And the end of this string. So let's just count that simply. So that would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we've got P at position 5. Now let's just create a new variable, let's say new password, and that should be equal to password at position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because our P is at 5. So we want to slice from position 5 to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, right? So 5 to 13, and then we simply print new password. And when we run that, we just get Python 1 and 2, and we don't get the 3. And why is that? That is because we just have 13 positions here, and we're slicing from 5 to 13. But in this case, we always need to slice one position higher than the last position. So in this case, that should be 5 through 14. And when we click on run, it gives us Python 1 to 3, which is now a newly stored string in the variable new password. Let's move on to task 3. Now, task 3 says that we need to print the last character of the string Python. So first off, let's create a new variable. Let's call the variable s, because it's a string, and store the string python, just like that, inside the variable s. Now let's create a new variable s2 and slice the last character in Python. So in this case, the last character would be at the position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we want to slice the character at position 5, and the way we do that is simply write s at position 5, and then you want to obviously print it. So you print s2, where we've stored the sliced character, and click on the green run button, and that gives us the n, which is the last character in Python. Another way to do this would be to directly write your print statement, and inside your print statement you write s at position 5, wherein you're directly slicing the n from this string s and printing it. You do not really need to create a new variable for it. So if I click on run, that gives me the same output. So there are two ways to do this. You can choose to do it either way, but it's best to learn both ways. Now, for the final task of this exercise, that is task 4, what you want to do is you want to print the first character of the string Python without using the 0 index value. So you cannot use print s at position 0 because we already have Python stored in the variable s, so we'll use the same variable. So we won't use s at position 0 to print the first value, the character at position 0, or the first character in that string. You want to use the other way that we saw, which is going from the end of the string and using negative indices to actually print this out. So I'm going to give you some time to do this on your own, and then we'll take a look at the solution. All right, so that should have been fairly easy, but if it wasn't, don't worry, it really just is super easy and pretty straightforward. What you want to do here is, first off, start counting from the back of the string, or the last character of the string. In this case, that would be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and -6. So from the back, P is at position -6. So I'm simply going to write print s at position -6, which essentially goes to our variable s that stores the string Python and then accesses the character at position -6. And then when we click on run, we get the P right here. Just a small note on task 3. So in this case, if you wanted to print out the n without using the number 5 or the index 5, since it's the last character and we know that the last character is always going to be at position -1, you could simply go ahead and print s at position -1, and that should give us another n right here, which is pointing to position -1, which is the position of n. Now, I hope you understood this exercise and it was fairly simple. String slicing is something that we'll be using in one of our projects in this course. So if you've got any questions, just put it down in the comments and we'll answer those ASAP. Until then, just have fun, try to create some strings of your own and slice them for more practice, and I'll see you in the next one.